All right, y'all. This is Love and Hip Hop New York. This is season 8, episode 8. So, the episode starts off with James Delane and Sophia bed hopping body. And she's staying with James now, and she's up cooking breakfast for him. And she's saying how she felt like James was, cheesy or whatever, but he did open up his home to her and everything, and he gave her the puppy, so she feels like it's only right for her to return the favor. But that's it's just a favor. And just because me and Jacquay broke up does not mean that I'm James's girl all of a sudden. I'm like, yeah, okay. Anyways, so he's telling her about his video release party, for the video that they were in together. And he wants her to be like his arm candy pretty much. She don't like that term. She's like, I don't like that or whatever. And I'm like, you a video vixen, or was a video vixen, whatever it is today, and you offended by the term arm candy? Okay, girl, whatever, So anyways, so James is like, so what you think about my lame ass? He ain't saying it like that, but I'm saying it like that, god damn it. And she's like, well, I think that you're a gentleman and you're attractive and you're a ladies' man. And he's like, hold up, hold up. Like, so, what about me being Sophia's man, or possibly being your man and everything? And she was like, I mean, we'll see, or we'll see where it goes, or something like that. That she was saying, and he's like, oh, so you gonna play hard to get, or whatever, this, that, and the third, and next thing you know, they kissing or whatever, and I'm just like, but I thought you said that you wasn't his girl, and you just returning a favor for him by cooking him breakfast, but then you're kissing him. Yeah, okay. Okay. Anyways, y'all let that sink in. Anyways, so then we get Jonathan and Trent, and they're like on this bike riding date together. And Trent's trying to make more time for him, and Jonathan feels like with every 10 text messages that he sends, Trent only responds to one, and he doesn't want to feel like that he's begging, Trent to be with him and everything, this, that, and the third. And Trent is like, listen, it's pretty much the same old with Trent. He's working, he's grinding, he's trying to do this, he's trying to do that. And Jonathan is like, well, do you feel like you could be in love or whatever? And Trent is like, I feel like I could let you in. And, Jonathan is like, but that's not love. You know what I'm saying? And, Trent is like, listen, I was depressed or whatever. I had no money and I was homeless. And, Jonathan is like, I don't even really know too much about, like, your situation of when you were homeless. And I'm like, so you've been with him for 6 months and you don't know how he was homeless and everything, this, that, and the third. But Trent did say that, he was embarrassed to talk about it. But, he was saying how he went to Atlanta, for a record deal, and it fell through. And, when he came back to New York, he didn't have anything. He gave up his job, he gave up his house or whatever. So he was eating out the trash can and all this other stuff. Like, it was, like really hard for him and everything. And, Trent is just saying, like, he's trying or whatever. Like, he's trying to build himself back up to 100%. And, Jonathan is just trying to give him, support or whatever, whatever. Anyway, so then we have Juju and Safari. They're meeting up at a restaurant. Because Juju pretty much wants him to, be in well, she you guys remember she wrote a book last season, and the book did well, and she wants to turn the book into a stage play, and she wants Safari to be one of the characters in the book. And she tells him that he still has to audition. It's not just, oh, just because Juju or whatever, I'm about to just let you, like you about to get the homie hookup or whatever. But so Next thing you know, as they're talking about this or whatever, and Safari with his crazy self, because Juju was saying, it'll be good if you get the part or whatever. You're very attractive and you'll bring the ladies and everything. He was like, yeah, I would bring the ladies, and he hollering over at the other table like, hey, ladies, you won't come see me in the play or whatever. And I'm just like, Lord have mercy, child, you ain't get the part yet. But anyway, so next thing his mom comes in because he's just trying to spend more time with his mom since the funeral with his uncle and everything. And his mom is kind of like in awe with Juju or whatever, and Juju, she's getting ready to leave and everything. And mom, she's like, who's that or whatever. And he's like, I've known her for a long time through her guy or whatever. Her guy been together for a long time, so yeah, ain't nothing about to go on between me and her. So his mom is asking him, did I say her mom? His mom is asking him, so are you seeing anybody or whatever? And he's like, yeah, I am kind of seeing somebody right now and everything. And she tells him, it seems like when you're in a relationship, you're not focused. But when you are by yourself, you are focused. And, she was saying this other stuff. And he's like, yeah, maybe this is not the right time to bring Dream Doll around my mom right now and everything, this, that, and the third. And they just talking about like some other stuff about life and life being too short and this, that, and the third. And next thing you know, he gonna make his mama, cause Juju had gave him the book to read, so so he's prepared for the audition and everything. He gonna make his mama read the book so she could pretty much give him some footnotes about what the book is about. I said, your grown ass can't read that damn book by yourself. I mean, on your own. Child, Safari is a mess. That's all I can say. So then we get Jonathan and Anais, since they partners in crime again. She goes with him so he could surprise, Trent with her and some chocolates. And they go to the studio where he was supposed to be at. The girl is telling him that Trent is not there. They don't have nobody by that name, and then they don't have anybody by that name. I'm getting tongue tied, but they don't have anybody by that name, and Jonathan, he's pissed off or whatever because he feels stupid, and Anais is like, calm down. Maybe he went to go get something to eat or something like that. And Jonathan's like, no, he didn't get nothing to eat and everything. And, Anais is asking him, well, how serious is y'all relationship or whatever? And, he's saying it's very serious. Like, we've been dating for 6 months now and this, that, and the third. Jonathan is pretty much over it. He's, just doing the most at this point. He talking about something. He about to go back to his old ways and start investigating and blase. And I'm like, if you gotta do all that, you don't need to be with this young man. I'm just saying, like, child. Like, yeah, Jonathan just doing way too much. And I think I told you guys before, I didn't really watch K. Michelle's show like that all the time. But when I did watch it and I would see him up there, I was like, oh, he, seems like he's kind of a cool, fun person. But on this show, he is working a nerve, okay? So, speaking of him doing some investigation, we see him like the next day or whatever. He's like at some coffee shop or something like that. And he decides, since Trent has been dodging his calls and everything, he decides to make like a Grindr account. I never heard of Grindr. But yeah, he decides to make this Grindr account or whatever, and he poses as this guy named Raul. And Trent hit up Raul before Raul, which is Jonathan, could hit up Trent. You know what I'm saying? To put him in the booby trap. So Jonathan as Raul, is asking Trent for like a dick pic or whatever, and Trent sends it and everything. And, of course, Jonathan is pissed. He's, like, up to here with it right now. So, yeah. So, he decides he's going to set up, like, a dinner or whatever. So, Trent can find out that he's actually Raul. So, then we get Self, Snoop, and Jacquay meeting up and everything. And they meet up outside of some restaurant or whatever. And Self is like, James Delane done tagged me in this video release party, thing on Instagram, and Sophia's in the video or whatever. And Jacquay saying that, yeah, I got tagged in the invitation too. And Jacquay is like, but my whole thing is, like, we never heard the song, so how is he dropping a video for it? And Self is like, I think we should go listen. And at first Snoop and Jacquay, they're like, for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, that just seems like a whole bunch of problems or whatever. And Snoop is like, yeah, that's kind of shiftless. That's kind of shady. Like, why would he, invite Jacquay knowing, the situation with Sophia and this, that, and third? Because we all know how James Delane is. He like to show off and show out. So, anyways, now Jacquay and Snoop, they are on board with the whole idea of showing up and running amok up in James Delane's event. I wouldn't have went, but I mean, hey, whatever. So, anyways, then we have Mariah Lynn and Bianca and some new girl named Cayenne or whatever. Mariah is having like a lingerie party. And since she got her tits done and everything, and she's been back in New York for like a week, I think she was saying. So like I said, she wants to have a lingerie party to show off her tits to her homegirls. So she's saying how her and James are not on good terms or whatever, but he's having a video release party, and Cayenne is like, "Oh, you gonna pop up? You gonna pop up?" And I'm just like, more problems to be caused, So she's like, yeah, I think I should show up and everything, and Bianca is like, oh Lord, you gonna start some trouble. And Mariah's like, no, I just want to see if Sophia is okay or whatever. I guess since the last time her and Sophia got into their little thing or whatever. And so Bianca is like, girl, you just got your titties done and everything. And but at the same time, Bianca is like, well, I'm a troublemaker myself, so I can't even sit up here and advise you not to go. So I mean, do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And next thing they get on the conversation of Bree. I forgot how they got on the conversation, but Cayenne knows her as well. You know what I'm saying? And no, actually, Bianca was telling Cayenne about her hitting Bree with the shoe, but I still can't remember how they got on the conversation though. But anyways, Cayenne knows Bree and everything, and she don't like Bree either, because Bree sitting up here was trying to say how Cayenne was her protege and all this other stuff, and I guess pretty much trying to copy her. And I'm like, how is Bree going to sit up here and call anybody a protege, her protege, when we don't even know her. We don't even know her. So how are you going to sit up here and call somebody your protege? Like, I don't understand. But so the girl Cayenne got Bree's number from somebody or whatever. So she called Bree. Bree, hung up and everything. Then Bree called back, and all of a sudden start bucking this, that, and the third. And that was that. And I don't remember what else happened in that conversation because I ain't write it down. But yeah, they don't like Bree, so whatever. So anyways, then we get Juju and Bianca. They're at like this dance workout class or whatever. And Bianca is telling Juju that, her and Yandy are not working together anymore, but, it gives her space to, do things on her own and everything. And, that's when Juju presents her with the idea of her being a part of the play and the character that she wants her to play. But just like Safari, Bianca has to audition too. So then we get, Jonathan. He reveals to Trent. Well, no, we get Jonathan at a restaurant. I'm sorry. We get him at the restaurant and everything. And, Trent apparently, a producer comes to tell Jonathan that Trent walked in, saw Jonathan, and he walked out. So Jonathan is like, all right, well, let's go outside then. Let's get shit popping. So, he goes outside to confront him and everything, and Trent doesn't want to have the conversation. He's taking, his mic off and everything, and Jonathan, Trent is constantly walking away from Jonathan. And, Jonathan is like, I got on Tim's. We could walk all the way to the Bronx. And I'm like, I don't know about all that. Like, I got a pair of Tim's myself. And them things be heavy on my feet. But I don't know. He's a dude, so it probably wouldn't bother him as much. But even still, I don't know what part of New York they was in. But he's saying we could walk all the way to the Bronx, like as if like Bronx, is far from wherever part of New York they in. I was like, yeah, no. It's not that serious. Like, I don't understand why Jonathan is doing all of this. It's like, I mean, he's showing you, like, if he, dodging your calls and everything, this, that, and the third, he's showing you that he don't fuck with you like that at this point. So, like, you doing all this extra shit is just doing too much, and it's annoying as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So then Jonathan is like, if you walk across that street, we're done. And Trent just kept on trucking, child. So that's that between them, and we gonna see what goes down next week when Trent presents Jonathan with his marriage license. So anyways, then we have Juju. She's having the auditions, she has some lady there with her, and then she also has her sister there with her. Bianca comes through. She does pretty okay or whatever. Safari comes in. He actually wants the sister to be on the stage with him or whatever, and so he can really get into character. So, and then next thing he breaks into his Jamaican accent, and they was just too through with him, but in a good way. And was it me, or what, were they in the same church that Trent was rehearsing in? I was looking like, I know they ain't the same church. But anyway, so Juju is talking to her sister, and they're talking about Cam going on tour and everything, and she's like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be on tour with him this time. And normally they're always together, and they know how to balance their work schedules out to always be around each other. And she's saying that they're growing apart at this point, and we already know that her and Cam are broken up, so there's no need to really get all into that. But yeah, so anyways, so we're at the last part of the episode, which is James Delane's video release party. So Sophia is not there yet. Actually, she doesn't even show up at all, and I don't know if she's going to show up in next week's episode, but in this part, she didn't even show up to the party. So the guy Graf that he was rubbing the lotion on earlier this season, he shows up and everything, because you guys remember he's cool with James or whatever. And James is telling him about Sophia and everything, and Graf is like, well, remember I told you she gotta do or whatever, right? And James is like, well, from what I hear, that situation is over with. And Graf, he's like, shocked or whatever, like, what? You know what I'm saying? So then we got the Creep Squad minus Rich, because we didn't even see Rich in this episode. We got them showing up and everything, Jacquay, Self, and Snoop. And James, he gets on the stage, and he's talking, and he's like, the leading lady, she's not here yet. Jacquay, he yelling from the audience, talking about well, where is she? You know what I'm saying? And so Graf, he comes over to where the Creep Squad is at, and they're watching the video and everything, and Snoop, she's like, who this nigga think he is, Drake or somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like, he lame as hell and da da. And I will say, I was looking like, he do kind of got a voice on him though. I don't know how it sound without autotune, but it seemed like he got something there, But I was just like, yeah, this shit lame as hell. Okay, and so James, he gets back on the mic or whatever, because he wants Jacquay to pay very close attention to the part that Sophia is in and everything. So Jacquay understands why Sophia didn't want to tell him about this video, because it looked like it was more than just a favor. So, after the video is over and done with, James is calling out the Creep Squad and everything. He daps Graf up, talking about you my boy, but you hanging with the ops or whatever. And Snoop, she's like, yo, who you calling the op? And you know, he's just going on the mic and everything. Snoop comes around and calls him a clown or whatever. And next thing you know, he pushes her. Now, I don't know how to feel about this because I know it's probably going to be a whole bunch of difference of opinions. Because on one hand, Snoop is still a girl. Even though, yes, you know, she's a stud and everything, and you know she kind of, you know, she act like a nigga, so you know you could get, you know, you could get these hands too, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, oh, she's still a girl, you know. He claimed that she touched his jacket or whatever. I couldn't really tell because the way they kind of had the camera cut off on their body, I couldn't really tell if she grabbed on his jacket or not, and I kind of rewind that part back a few times. So I don't know. I don't know if she grabbed on his jacket or not, but he claimed that she did. But and then she was like, "Man, fuck your jacket," you know. So that kind of made me feel like, okay, maybe she did grab on his jacket. Like, I don't know, but I still felt like it didn't warrant him to kind of do all that. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know I'm all for, you know, everybody keeping their hands to themselves. But just the way things looked, it just kind of looked like it didn't warrant him to just push her like that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. You guys might have a difference of opinion. You guys let me know how y'all feel about that. Who you felt was just, I mean, really, they shouldn't have shown up to that man's event to begin with. But James, of course, you know, but James at the same time, he shouldn't have got up there on the mic with all that hoopla that he was doing at his own event. You know what I'm saying? So everybody just was on one, if you ask me. But anyway, so Graf, he feels like he's caught in the middle because he's cool with both parties and everything. So the next thing you know, Jacquay and James, they start talking shit to each other, and we're gonna get a continuation of that next week. And yeah, that was the episode, you guys. I apologize for this being all over the place. It's just a lot on my mind right now. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.